Just got my pay rise, 140K now. Finally moving up.
You'll summon him.
Summon who? Who the hell is that? So, pay rises, hey? That's bracket creep. The worst kind of creep. You see, as your income increases, you eventually creep into a higher tax bracket and you automatically pay a high rate of tax on any income past that point. Son of a daddy. Hey, that's mine. Too late, mate. Old creep is baked into the system. As wages rise across Australia, the government also gets a pay rise. One of their favourites. Who hired him? The government did back in 1915 when they introduced income tax as a temporary measure to help with the cost of World War I. He's been creeping his way ever since. I hate him. He does not give a shit.
Back to work, champ. Daddy needs more money. Yuck.
Just go.
Yeah, and with the increase in pay rise, people tend to go and add more to their spending budget. And it's a easy spiral to get out of control.
I've just joined TikTok because I think there's something people need to hear. Are you experiencing a cost of living crisis? Are you finding that things are just becoming crazy expensive? Are you in a position where you have to cancel holidays with your family? Or if you're a younger Australian, you have no prospect of ever owning your own home. Are you finding that when you buy groceries, every time you go and buy groceries, they're just more and more expensive? Well, last night, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission released a report into Coles and Woolworths. And guess what they found? Coles and Woolworths aren't just profitable, they're not even very profitable. They are the most profitable supermarkets in the world.
I don't hear that. I look at the population between Australia with about, I think it was 30 million people. And then I look at the population of states like UK and not states, countries like the UK and America. And they smash us when it comes to population. But to hear that Woolworths and Coles, the most dominant supermarkets in Australia, are more profitable, it just blows my mind.
But Coles and Woolworths are the most profitable supermarkets in the whole world. Where do you think that money's coming from? This is why your groceries are so expensive. And what gets done about it? Nothing. Successive governments throw their arms up in the air and they say there's nothing that can be done. That is absolute bullshit. I've appeared before Senate inquiries into Coles and Woolworths and I have kicked them. And I've kicked them hard and I keep kicking them. And I've been saying to people for well over a year, Coles and Woolworths are a duopoly. We need to break them up. And when the government says there's nothing we can...
Yeah, the government looked into it and they were accused of price gouging. And not long after, Coles and Woolworths came out with supposedly discounts on hundreds of items. But people looked at those discounts and they were like 10, 20-cent discounts on your basic items. It's gotten that bad that even when I do shopping, I buy the bare basic essentials. And I've skipped eating breakfast, I've skipped eating lunch, and I just focus on having a small meal for dinner. It's pathetic. Will something change? I don't know. But every person in Australia is definitely hoping for change.
I hate to be one to say this, but the reason that the cost of living is so high and the reason that regular household items and groceries continue to increase is because we don't know how to stop purchasing things. We don't know how to say no. We don't have self-control. Like if I think about history and why in history books people actually got like a little bit of change, it's because they had some sort of resistance, some sort of self-control. We literally buy. Amazon, TikTok, freaking Target, Fashion Nova, Shein, whatever the case may be, all of these stores always gets orders just coming in and out. At what point do we say no? At what point do we fight back? Because the reality of it is the government is looking at us like, okay, they're never going to stop. So why would we decrease the price on anything? Y'all need to just make some more money and fend for yourselves. But no, everybody has to have the latest everything. I don't know. But coming into the new year, January 2025, I will not be purchasing anything that is not necessary. And I say this and I'm holding myself to it because I am tired of eating my money. I am tired of wearing my money. It needs to go somewhere else. Who's with me? Right?
Oh, in the day and age of social media and the influencers out there purchasing the latest, greatest, newest thing, people no longer have the patience to wait and eventually maybe not even be able to afford it. So with things like buy now, pay later, or being able to easily get yourself a credit card, it's really difficult to say no to the fear of missing out on the latest, greatest thing. And not just governments, but corporations know this. And so they have it in their ads where it's like, you need this item to be happy, or it, it's a difficult environment to live in. And I think the toughest thing is to just teach yourself self-discipline. And when you get into your older years, you will be very thankful and not regret teaching yourself self-discipline at a young age.
Appreciate this comment because I know that a lot of people think this way about the buy now, pay later services like Afterpay or Klarna. We're not thinking about them when we use them as going into debt, even though that's actually what's happening. Literal definition of debt, y'all, is just owing money. Like if you owe money in a future state, even if it's only $20 a month for the next 3 months, it's still debt. And I think that when we think of these buy now, pay later services, we're not thinking about it that way because a lot of them are like interest free, assuming you make the payments on time. And, like I think a lot of us, when we think of debt, we think of mortgage, car loan, personal loan, credit cards, things like that. We're not thinking of these buy now, pay later services as debt, even though that they are. The women in my community, what tends to happen is because of this mindset that we have around them of, oh, it's not a big deal. It's only $20 a month. It's only for 3 months. When we have that mindset, doing this one time turns into 5 times and then 10 times. And then before you know it, it's completely spiraled and you're going into a month owing Afterpay or Klarna $400 or $500 a month, like the equivalent of a car payment because you've done this so many times because, oh, it's only $20, but it's almost like a death by 1,000 cuts type of situation. And so that's why it's like it's so important that you be really, really careful with these buy now, pay later services, especially if you're someone who struggles with impulse shopping, overspending, if you're a compulsive shopper. I understand that, like, for some situations, it does make sense. Like, if you're buying a larger ticket item, that's an app.
And just recently, buy now, pay later is now going to be available when you do your grocery shopping. So it's going to be an even bigger debt trap for people in Australia, because if you go to the aisle and they scan all your items and you could be a couple of bucks or maybe $50 short or something like that, well, now you can just put it on buy now, pay later, which people think's great because there's no interest on their payments. But once you accumulate and you get into the mindset of, oh, I can't afford it now, I'll just chuck it on buy now, pay later, those payments themselves start adding up and you find yourself in more and more debt. It's a very vicious cycle, and it can be tough to break when you find yourself getting into that spiral.
Another thing that has my flabbers extremely gasped is this buy now, pay later situation. What are people doing? I just watched this video of this girl saying that she had close to 50 loans on a firm. How do you even how? Now, don't get me wrong, I've used Afterpay or Firm, plenty of those in the past. I still use Affirm sometimes, mostly for like holiday gifts, don't get me wrong. But I always have my auto pay on and I never miss a payment. Like, I don't know what you people are doing. She had in the 5 digits of money due to Affirm. I can't understand how that's, I mean, I understand how people can do that because people are here buying groceries. on Afterpay. What are you doing? Doing installments of your groceries. What happens when you have to buy groceries the next time? You're still paying off less groceries or your gas. Like, it should not be like this. You people need to think better. So when
Yeah, this buy now, pay later, Afterpay, Klarna, whatever you want to call it. It's a very, very savage cycle to get into. I like to think if you can't buy it now, don't buy it now. Only buy what you can afford, and just wait till hopefully you'll be able to afford it down the road. But a lot of people they want it now, and they're not willing to wait.
Pay later schemes are dangerous. And yes, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's interest free or it helps cash flow, but that's exactly what they want you thinking. And even if you are sensible with your money, you're still more likely to buy more stuff. And I know that for a fact because that's exactly how Klarna advertises to businesses. It says you'll get a 45% increase in the average order value if you use us, which means that you, as a retailer, get more people to buy more stuff. If you are buying more stuff, that means you're not putting money away for investments to build your future wealth. And it also means that you might get addicted to kicking a payment can down the road as well, and then end up not being able to afford what you've bought on buy now, pay later, and you end up paying the much higher interest because nobody ever uses buy now, pay later schemes just once. And so this is why.
Yeah, capitalism, consumerism. It's a very weird world or weird time we live in right now. And this guy couldn't have said it any better. It's a savage cycle. And unless something changes, it's just going to keep continuing. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye-bye.